It's certainly wasn't an ideal Bellator MMA debut for former Strikeforce champ Gegard Mousasi. The ex-UFC contender signed with Bellator MMA in free agency and was booked against former middleweight champ shlemenko, and he was fortunate to come away with a unanimous decision win in Friday's Bellator 185 main event at the Mohegan Sun Resort and Casino in Uncasville Court. While Mousasi definitively took round one, a left hand by shlemenko caused serious swelling to develop on Gegard's right eye, and it affected his performance the rest of the way. Shlemenko easily won round 3 and was landing heavy shots on the ground and at kickboxing range, but the 3 judges at cage side saw the closely fought round 2 in Mousasi's favor. Evidently they valued Mousasi's work on the mat over the striking of Shlemenko, which admittedly wasn't exactly a masterclass in efficiency. Also on the card, Gracie improved to 70 with a submission win over Zach Busha. Christina Williams pulled off a big upset by beating and bloodying Heather Hardy. Ryan Quinn did enough to earn a decision over the previously unbeaten Marcus Surin, and Lisa Blaine kicked off the main card by edging out former boxing champion Anna Juliton on the scorecards. Gegard Mousasi 4,362 def. Alexander Shlemenko 5,610, 1 NC by unanimous decision 2,928 by 3 middleweights. Mousasi evaded Shlemenko's early spinning back kick, and then the spinning back fist. A good left hand caught Gegard's attention and swelled up his eye, and he shot for a takedown. Shlemenko sprawled and had a brief headlock before letting go. Mousasi managed to get Shlemenko to at least a seated position for a few seconds, where he teed off with punches. Mousasi tossed Shlemenko down just a few moments later and immediately jumped on a rear naked choke, before switching to a neck crank. Gegard unleashed elbows from back mount as Shlemenko did all he could to fend off a submission attempt. Mousasi eventually lost position and Shlemenko was back to his feet. Gegard put him down again and bashed the Russian's face with some vicious punches. Shlemenko's standing Kimura backfired and he gave up his back again. A wild scramble ensued, but nothing too serious came out of it as the first frame drew to a close. Mousasi's right eye was badly swollen as a result of that Shlemenko left hand in the previous round. Incredibly, the doctor did not stop the fight. Gegard couldn't get the takedown he wanted in round 2, but Shlemenko wasn't really connecting with too many crisp shots to try and take advantage of the compromised state of Mousasi's vision. One spinning back fist did connect, but Mousasi muscled Shlemenko to the mat, only for the former Bellator champ to stand up again, and then take Mousasi down. Gegard swept Shlemenko and into side control. 2 elbows slammed against the ear of Shlemenko, who would give up his back again in the final minute of the round. Another rear naked choke try by Mousasi proved futile, and he just chilled out on Shlemenko's back for the closing seconds. Storm stormed out of round 3 with body attacks on Mousasi, both with punches and kicks. A hard body kick and left hook combo both hit Mousasi's midsection, and Shlemenko was scoring with some good shots upstairs. Mousasi was low output, perhaps stemming from the damaged eye from round 1. Gegard went for a takedown and instead Shlemenko was able to trip him. They returned to striking with 2 minutes remaining, and a sweeping left hook cracked Mousasi across his jaw. Mousasi fell back during an exchange and Shlemenko hit him with some ground and pound, and stayed on top. Another spinning back kick to the body was on target for Shlemenko, and a right hand staggered Mousasi. It was a dominant round for Shlemenko but not enough to get him the win. The crowd booed the official decision, as Mousasi wins his 6th straight overall. Gracie 70 def. Zach Busha 158 by submission neck crank at 227 of round 2. Welterweights Gracie shot for a takedown inside of a minute, spun to the back while they were still standing, and then dragged Busha to the mat. After a few punches to the head, Gracie maneuvered for a rear naked choke, but Busha fought the hands. Gracie remained draped all over Busha, but when his choke attempt failed, Busha found himself on top. Gracie attacked with an omoplata, then switched to a heel hook, and Busha defended them all. Gracie couldn't get the knee bear to end a compelling opening round. Busha couldn't stop Gracie from taking him down and controlling his back. Gracie locked up a neck crank and that was a wrap. Gracie remains unbeaten while Busha loses by submission for the first time. Christina Williams 10 def. Heather Hardy 11 by TKO. Doctor stoppage at 200 of round 2 women's flyweights. These two wasted no time exchanging big strikes. And the underdog Williams was firing and landing some good punches in the early stages. A head kick by Williams connected cleanly. Hardy, a talented boxer, committed to her jab and also was willing to trade power shots in the pocket with Williams. Hardy clipped Williams with a sharp right hand but ate yet another head kick shortly thereafter. Heather was bleeding from her nose and definitely didn't have the greatest of opening rounds. Hardy cracked Williams with a left hook and a right hand early in round 2, and also dug in some shots to the body. Williams retaliated with an inside elbow and a side kick, and it didn't take long for Hardy to start bleeding again. Hardy ducked into a head kick and was rocked badly. She was wiping blood from her nose and was in a bothersome state. The referee called time, the doctor took a look at Hardy's destroyed nose, and the fight was stopped. Hardy's second MMA fight ends in defeat and a broken nose, while Williams celebrates an emphatic win in her pro debut. Ryan Quinn 1471 def. Marcus Surin 41 by unanimous decision 2928 by 3 lightweights. It looked as if a takedown attempt for Quinn would lead to Surin ending up on top, but Quinn rolled and was able to get top position. He tried to take the back but Surin wouldn't let him. Just as Surin got to his feet, Quinn tripped him back down and did gain full back mount. With the body triangle in, Quinn sought the rear naked choke. Surin escaped to his feet but not free from Quinn's grasp. He tried turning the tables on Quinn with a headlock throw, but he couldn't keep Quinn down. It was still a clear-cut round 1 in Quinn's favor. Quinn caught Surin with the right hand early in round 2, and he changed levels for a takedown. He took the back briefly but couldn't get the rear naked choke or neck crank. Surin just had too many problems dealing with the pressure and wrestling of Quinn. Still, he was surviving and not in serious danger of being finished. Surin came out aggressively in round 3 and also stuffed a takedown by Quinn and turned it into top position. This time it was Surin who was dictating the pace of the fight, but he needed something big to pull off the W. Surin's rear naked choke effort was unsuccessful, and Quinn countered with an anaconda choke. When Quinn couldn't get that submission, he went for back mount, lost control, and Surin was able to scramble to side control. With under a minute to go, Surin landed some good shots against the fence, but found himself reversed in the closing seconds. It's the 4th win in Quinn's last 6 outings, and he had a great blueprint to beat the blueprint. Lisa Blaine 20 def. Anna Juliton 23 by split decision 2928, 2829, 2928 women's flyweights. Much of the opening round was contested at kickboxing range, and the former world boxing champion Juliton was quite active with her kicks. Blaine closed the distance and was able to clinch against the fence, and after some jockeying for position, Blaine was able to get the trip into side control. Elbows were dropped by Blaine, but Juliton reversed position and got back to her feet, plus fended off the standing guillotine. In round 2, Juliton attempted a single leg takedown off a caught kick, but Blaine showed good balance to stay upright. It was a stalemate in the clinch for an extended period of time, and the referee saw it fit to separate them. Juliton had a nice spinning back kick to the body, which was one of the few clean shots landed by either fighter. Blaine took Juliton down again with over a minute left in the round, threw some hammer fists, but was reversed and wound up on the bottom. Juliton closed out the middle frame in Blaine's guard. A minute into round 3, Blaine was able to secure another takedown. This time she managed to maintain her top control and get in some ground and pound. Blaine kept the pressure on with some solid elbows and punches. The referee warned Juliton for upkicking the head of Blaine while she was down, although it was more of a push than a forceful kick. Blaine let Juliton get back to her feet. They exchanged a series of punches and knees in the clinch until the fight's conclusion. Blaine took this match up on 4 weeks' notice, and she pulled off the upset over fellow Bellator newcomer Juliton. Preliminary card results via MMA Fighting. John Lopez def. Billy Giovanella via unanimous decision 3027, 3026, 2928. Kevin Carrier def. Jose Antonio Perez via unanimous decision 3027, 3027, 3027. Vovka Clay def. Frank Sforza via submission guillotine choke at 117 of round 2. Don Shanis def. Matthew Denning via TKO ground and pound at 450 of round 1. Jordan Young def. Alec Cuban via submission triangle choke at 244 of round 1. Costello Vanstinas def. Steve Skurzet via submission strikes at 252 of round 1. Joaquin Buckley def. Vinicius de Jesus via split decision 2928, 2829, 2928. Pete Rogers def. Timothy Wheeler via technical submission guillotine choke at 37 of round 1. Dean Hancock def. John Benaduce via TKO strikes at 338 of round 1.